Podcast with Roony and Jay. Podcast with Roony and Jay.
Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Couple of Dads. Myself, Roony.
And me, Jay.
You know what I noticed last week?
Go on.
I didn't say, what's happening, people? I said, yo, what's happening?
I just got straight into
I
it.
didn't say people last week, and it froze me when I listened to the last week's episode back. I was like, I didn't say me.
Baffles you, innit?
Yeah, I didn't do what I normally do.
Do you know what? That's how you know I'm an imbecile. I didn't even clock that, boy.
I didn't until after. I was listening back. I was like, I didn't say me usual.
But, bruv, I've listened to that episode 3 times, and I still didn't clock it.
But you know what we do have now? We've got theme music, haven't we? From last week to this week, we've got theme music, jingles. It's levelling up everywhere.
And the theme music is amazing as well,
It is.
you know.
It is.
Jesus.
And we're obviously it's coming a bit later in the show, but can I just say we've got a really special guest today, and it's it's gonna be a good one.
To be fair, considering we're only, what is this, 9?
9. This is episode
9 episodes in.
Second guest,
and it's a big one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Very, very good one.
We ain't done too bad, the boys.
We're doing all right on this old podcast,
Not bad at all.
As Mabel and Marley this week.
They're good, you know. So, yeah, man, it's been a good week. These kids, man, are hard work, you know.
What's happening? What's been going on?
Well, it's just hard work, man. I just didn't realise it would be this hard. It's just how it goes, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I'm tired this week as well.
Mate.
You know what? I've done a couple of different shifts at work. Like I went out early because I had a few things to do, and then I come home late. So it's been a tough one. So I only see for 2 days this week. I only see Brandon for like 5 minutes in the morning before I left.
Was he vexed at you like last time?
Yeah, man. Yeah, but it was hard. Like I missed them. I missed them, and I felt guilty for being out. And then when I saw him today, he would not look at me in the morning.
What, man gave you the cold shoulder?
Bruv, I was trying everything. He was looking did not want to know.
No, he weren't on it. Cold shoulder things, boy.
But then when he realised that I was here today,
he changed the game. Yeah, changed it up a bit.
He was mad. He was extra vocal today.
That's why he was letting you know he was here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's one of them ones.
You know what? I tell a lie. It was last night he gave me the cold shoulder, not this morning. This morning it's been all right for me. It was last night because I see him a little bit for a few hours. Like as I got home, he woke up and he gave me. He was coldest, off with me in the morning. Yeah, man. He was not happy with me.
And then today he woke up. He was yeah. This guy just left me yesterday and forgot I was here. Exactly. I'm gonna let him know I'm about. Yeah.
But you know what? I brought gifts. I brought gifts, and I brought him his first proper Arsenal kit because now he's 6 months and he's in the 6 months age. He can get the official kit. So now he's got his official Arsenal kit. And I showed him it. He was smiling. He was well happy.
Yesterday, you should have left that in the shop, bro.
No, he was he's loving it.
I bet
he's had good luck charm. I tell you, since Brandon's been here, like in the world, Arsenal's been flying.
I'm going to be honest. I think Kerry's going to have some input on this.
Yeah, no. Kerry's been trying to. You see the post today. She was forcing the. No, West Ham one's there.
She's always going to force it. But
forever in a day.
What you've got to realise is he's inevitably going to become a mummy's boy.
Yeah.
So he may just become a West Ham fan.
I've got to have no. If Arsenal continue to do well, he knows what he is.
Oh, mate.
But you know what? He's still been on the weaning thing. It was funny because we this is mental, right?
God.
Learned 2 little things.
Yeah.
Just completely by chance. It was my dad that noticed today because he's been doing the baby-led weaning, so he'll eat. He's been eating broccoli. Yeah. He's had broccoli, he's had cauliflower, and Kerry gave him peas, pea puree.
All right.
We've got this little bowl, This
these are
bowl
good.
sticks to the thing, so it doesn't come
Yeah.
off. Like, I'll talk about that one. That might be my product of the week next week with more use, you know.
There you go.
But yeah, so he's got the pea puree. Kerry's put the spoon in the bowl.
Yeah.
Bro, he reached for the spoon
Oh,
and fed himself.
Yeah,
he
man.
knew what was going on, but he reached for it with his left hand. I didn't even notice that. So he looks like he's going to be left-handed. Yeah.
We were saying that about Mabel the other day. We think she might be left-handed.
Oh, that's mad. Yeah, I
which
think
is
he's
a bit
left-handed.
mad.
Yeah, that is.
Me and Brandon are going to have words. Peas are not the one, bro.
He loved the peas.
Trust
bruv.
me.
He looked like my mum said it. Kerry's mum said it.
Go on.
Kerry's dad said it as well. In one of the photos that Kerry took, yeah. Because I was at Arsenal when he had his first peas. So when she sent the photo, he's got them all on his face.
Oh,
he's got the big bib.
Yeah.
He looked like a painter, so I was calling him Picasso. He had green everywhere, and the spoon. It was like his paintbrush.
Bruv, if I didn't have a dad joke for later on in the show, that would have been it, bruv. Jesus Christ, that one, that was top tier.
Yeah, Picasso. That's what I mean. That's what I was
Picasso,
calling him. I might even throw a picture out on the figure. You see him.
That is too funny, bro.
But bro, I could not believe.
that.
And me and Kerry was having a talk about it. How, like we said before,
They're advanced.
Like when he eats, he knew to chew.
Yeah,
Bruv,
yeah.
He took the spoon and fed himself.
Yeah. See, so the other week it might have been this week. So Nance was saying she was feeding Mabel at her mum's, and they had to give her a spoon.
Yeah.
So she could pretend she was doing it, so they could feed her.
Wow.
She was just, you know what I mean? Because it weren't moving quick enough for her.
Wow.
So it just shows you, bruv. These
they
kids,
they are very advanced.
They're
And that's
very,
why
very
it's so important,
on
I
this
suppose,
thing.
with us doing like, to be aware that they're watching you all the time, because they're watching you eat and learning these things.
Bruv.
And then, so
It's mad.
they're constantly
It's mad.
watching. It's mad. It is.
It's
it
nuts.
is. But yeah, no. When he was my friend today, he was probably like
When he was my friend, you know.
He was probably my friend today. He's been very like, he's vocal anyway.
Of
But
course.
today he was
Noise.
extra vocal. Like,
No, you know what that is? He's warming them up.
yeah, trust me.
Get him ready, bruv.
Trust me.
He's warming them up. You know?
And he's been doing the like the biting his lip. So I think some teeth are gonna start showing through soon as well.
Yeah, boy. So another one, yeah.
Go on.
So we got Mabel's cot the other week, this week.
Yeah,
we got Mabel's cot, and so the other night we was I think we were sitting in the front room, me and Nance.
Yeah.
Just put Mabel to sleep or whatever. She's in there making up noise like she normally does, but she's supposed to be sleeping. But we was watching the monitor.
Yeah.
And she's got like a little teddy bear thing that makes noises and whatever in the corner. So she was grabbing it, yeah. But then she's rolled over to the other side, and it kind of looked like she was trying to pull herself up on the cot.
Mad.
Nance said to me, "Look at this." So I've looked. I was like, "Is she trying to pull herself up?" She was like, "I think so." And it she had her hands on the bars, and it looked like she was trying to pull herself up.
Mad.
Which is mad because she can't even walk yet.
Yeah, crazy. No, yeah, can't even crawl yet, can she?
Can't even crawl yet. But today as well, though, even today, Nance had her like standing, but holding her like.
We do that with Brandon. It's mad how her legs hold them up.
She's got like, there was a little bit of balance there.
Yeah,
I was like, boy.
Yeah, because I do. Me and Kerry do that with Brandon. Like we'll hold him up on our laps, and he stand up. And we say to him, "Who's a big boy?" And he's standing up, laughing, smiling.
See, this is what I'm saying, bro. It's not a joke.
It's mad how quick it all changes. We've said it every episode, but
it changes
every day.
But this is the beauty of it, yeah.
Go on.
Even that we record every week.
Yeah.
You and like the people that's listening and us can listen back, and you get the changes and how quick they do change.
Of course.
And it makes you like you don't realize it until I listen, and I've like obviously, but we listen to them back, innit?
Yeah,
and then I'll write during the week. I'll write little notes of stuff that happens.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And as you probably do as well, you know what I mean? But then when you listen to them, you realise, right, they do actually change rapidly.
Rapidly.
It's mad.
It is.
Absolutely mad.
And
then, sorry.
Go on.
And then the other day, Nance was at the door. She must have had a parcel from one of the neighbours upstairs or something. You'd think she was still in lockdown the way this girl orders parcels, you know, bro. Flipping ridiculous, man. So she had 4 parcels in 2 days. What is that?
Yeah, to be fair, it's constant, isn't it?
I don't know what this is. It's got worse since we had the baby. I'm sure there's that toys being delivered every other day. It's nuts, bruv. So she got a parcel from one of the neighbours upstairs. The neighbours come down. Now says she was talking to her at the door, whatever. And obviously we wave at Mabel quite a lot and say hi and all that sort of stuff. So this neighbour must have said bye or whatever, and she said Nat said it definitely was a wave. Like she put her hand up and moved her fingers.
Oh, bless her.
So she's kind of like said bye sort of thing. So she's getting there.
Yeah.
When I say it to her, she just looks at me. She just smiles and looks at me. Don't even want to say it back. I say hi and that. She just looks at me like I'm crazy. But all right, cool, whatever, man.
It's true though, because it does seem like they notice, they do notice things, like when you leave to go to work in the morning.
Yeah, they
like
take it in, man.
They do. But yeah, and then when you're out for a bit longer and they ain't seen you, they let you know about it.
Ain't that the truth, boy?
Right,
ain't
so
that the truth.
I think it's about time we get on to our guest of the week, don't you think?
Let's go, bro.
All right.
It's now time for Qualification Dad.
Our guest today is Nick Edwards, who was a semi-finalist. Look at that. Yeah, he was a semi-finalist, you know. He was a semi-finalist on Britain's Got Talent, yeah? So, Nick was surprised by his mum, I think, and his two daughters in a random one on the auditions, and they got him up on stage and he had to perform a song called Daddy's Little Girls, which is at the moment on all streaming platforms. Nick has 4 children, 2 boys, Jack and Cody, and 2 girls, Callie and Savannah. And yeah, he is our guest today.
It's time for Qualification Dad.
Oh,
just got to wait with answers.
Hello.
Hey,
hello.
What's happening, Nick?
Hello, mate.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm very good. How you both?
We're good. We're
all
good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on the show and agreeing to come and talk with us 2 gentlemen, about our children.
It's a good subject, right?
Yeah, that's it.
It is a very good subject.
Special part of all our lives, right?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So as everything going, obviously got to ask you about the single first because it's out at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, look, it's been incredible since the show, and obviously last week I released the song I sang on the show. It's been a bit of a journey since the show, obviously, and I'm already in the studio writing for my album, and I'm going to have another single out, bit of an exclusive in November. So
nice.
More music coming soon.
Nice. So basically, the Daddy's Little Girl song that you sang, how did that come about? The song that you chose to sing on that day?
Yeah. So the song was written by Ernie Halter and Caitlin Clampett, two songwriters who met in Nashville on kind of like the Nashville music scene. They're both kind of accomplished writers, if you like, and artists in their own right.
Oh, wow.
And I almost came across it on one day through, I think, recommendations on Spotify. And I just absolutely loved this song. I felt that it was, and I'd probably a year before, it's probably within the first 12 months of having my first girl, you know. So it was such an important kind of subject and time for me, and I just kind of fell in love with the song. And whilst the girls were young, I played it to them, kind of made my own version, if you like, and changed some of the lyrics, and I changed the song about a little bit, made it my own, if you like, and sang it around the house.
Nice.
And then that turned into Britain's Got Talent a few years later.
So you went from a lullaby in house to the big screen.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, crazy. And it wasn't like you know, I'd picked up that and got myself back on the circuit. It was literally, as you see, you know, January, a day out in London, music well behind me. Next minute, I'm on the stage of the London Palladium singing in front of 4,000 people. I mean, you can't get more crazier than that, right?
That's
Wow.
it. That is pretty nuts. And you've got 2 boys as well, right?
I've got two boys. Yeah, I had my first son when I was in mid-20s. So I was thinking about it earlier. It's like 25. My oldest is Jack. Then 14 months later, we had our second son, Cody. And then my wife really wanted to have girls, and I was in where I was in my career and various other things, finances. It just I was happy, being a father of two boys, and I'd love to have had a girl, but at that time, for various reasons, I felt two was enough for us. And my wife really wanted to try for a girl, and I just kind of knew that if we try again and it's another boy, then we'd have to kind of draw a line underneath it. So 6 years later, I mean, I don't know, you'll go through the motions of this when, deciding how many kids you want. I think some people have it in their mind, I'm going to have 10, I'm going to have 5, I'm going to have 3, or whatever it might be, and I loved kids. And then 6 years later, so my second son, Cody, was kind of 5 at the time, and she fell pregnant. We decided to go for it again on the understanding that 3 would financially kind of be our top end, and it would be kind of the last roll of the dice. Well, I've got 4 kids now, so if that didn't work out right.
You thought you'd go a bit extra. And maybe we'll touch on that, but the fourth was a complete surprise. Almost 9-10 months later, she's pregnant again, and we had 2 boys and 2 girls, so very, very lucky. While we're talking about dreams and that as well, Nick, we were like, did you find that when you had your boy, because we were saying it a couple of weeks ago, that when you have your kid, it kind of gives you another level of inspiration to kind of go and do them things that you really want to do?
I had, my experience was, I forgot. I mean, I remembered my childhood, and I remembered being a teenager, and I remember all those nights. But it was almost like, for me, none of that mattered at all. It was almost an insignificant living in a way. Not that what I don't want to do is take away from anyone who doesn't have that kick to want to have kids. Because everyone is their own, and I completely understand that. And I know people who don't have kids. In fact, I've known people who I've had deep conversations with who are in their 60s that just didn't want to have kids. I can't understand that because it's not in my DNA to not have kids. I wanted to have a family, but it changed me to a point where when I had my first son, Jack, it was almost like my life changed instantaneously. My drive changed, and everything became almost like within a second, your focus changes. Suddenly, there's someone there, and they are the most important thing, and you've got a responsibility to do your absolute best.
Definitely.
Massively.
Definitely.
I mean, it's amazing how it changes so instantly, really. It does. It did give me a drive, because actually, when I think back, it gave me a drive to succeed in the business sector I chose and career path. Whereas up to that point, I was drifting here, there, and everywhere. I tried lots of different things, but I think as soon as my first son was born, I really knuckled down, and those 10 years that came after were really my most successful years for my career and business wise.
Yeah, nice. And nice. Did it kind of, like, when you, like, the dream inside of you, the singing, did that, like, when obviously you had other kids and things like that, did them kind of interest then go into that, like this is the dream now, and if I can make the dream the living, then...
It's interesting that you say about having. I think what you're saying is about having a direction when you have kids. Your direction changes,
exactly,
and the drive. But I think for me, I've done music from the age of 6. In a church choir, growing all the way up to being an early teenager in bands, playing live, and through kind of, I would say 18 to 25, really, really giving it a go, going up and down the UK, trying to really break through on the circuit. and trying to. It's all I wanted to do. Music was all I wanted to do. I would have done anything to be a musician and make it. And you know, and obviously that direction changed when I had kids. But I think I knew when I had kids that I'm a bit of a realist, really. So I think I came to this idea in my mind that you've got to put the pipe dream down now. Yeah. You've got to forget the pipe dream, because you can't spend the rest of your life with this pipe dream. You've got to now you've got responsibilities, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fix up, sort yourself out, and let's get moving. And that was kind of the mode I went in. Okay. But in terms of the music, I that's where I gave up on the music. Maybe for lots of reasons, really. I didn't really have the time, to do it. You know, I don't know about you guys, but you know, how much time do you get? You know, I think you've got to knuckle down. And I didn't have the time for music. Didn't have the mind and space to sit quietly in a room and write. And just naturally, it took a back seat because I had different goals, and I had kids in my life.
Yeah. And then years later down the line, they become the ones who get you back into the singing by putting you forward for a singing show. Life works in mysterious ways, eh?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm a huge believer in that. I'm a huge believer that, you know, that there's someone up there and he's looking down and he's going to make sure you take the right path if you make the right decisions. And I think that, you know, and I'm definitely 100% testament to that.
Oh,
you know,
because definite.
Because there's no other explanation for it, and I think, you know, it's weird. How do you go and do that full circle, and then suddenly your wife and your kids put you in this situation? It's almost like, because I never searched for it; it found me. You know.
Yeah. So who was the one that put you forward for the audition?
Yeah. So obviously there's lots of speculation, but and not very many people have asked the question, to be honest with you. And I haven't kind of gone out of my way to try and explain the whole thing, just because it's quite complicated. But the story is quite simple, right? I occasionally, probably twice, maybe twice or three times, had this kind of weekend where I just wanted to pick up the guitar and play, and they were mainly picking up the guitars and a song that I liked, learning the cover of it, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, you know, I think one weekend I'd put something up, video of me, and just put it up on my Facebook at the time, so just my close network of friends could see it. And occasionally it'd give me a bit of a boost. Oh, Nick, I didn't realise you were still singing. That's great, you know, for people that used to know me years ago. And, you know, and it was just a bit of an outlet for me, because I still loved singing, still love performing. It's still in me, you know, it's right in my heart, and I don't, you know, although I'm not doing it, it's in me. It's part of my makeup and my DNA, right? So I've done that maybe once or twice, and there was one particular time where I uploaded a video to my Facebook, and on this one occasion uploaded it to my Instagram. And this is quite interesting for anyone who's interested in having some kind of breakthrough in music, because you won't believe how simple it was for me. And I'm not saying it's simple for everyone, but it was so simple for me. And in terms of my involvement with the show, I put up a video of me singing Daddy's Little Girls. Right at the end of the video, the girls came, and I was trying to get this. I must have recorded it about 6 times. Just wanted this perfect run of the song, and I recorded it. I remember the day so vividly. I recorded it once, thought, I could do better than that. Second time, third time, got to the 5th or 6th time, and I'd nailed it. I thought, this is the one. Absolutely nailed it. And then about 20 seconds before the end of the song, the girls come in with their dollies and their pushchairs, going, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, look at this." And they started showing me the dollies, and then I ended it there. But I ended up uploading the version of the girls walking in at the end, because it was just so cool. Fitting. You know, it was like me singing this song called Daddy's Little Girls, and then the 2 girls walk in at the end. And I really thought it was just a bit, a bit funny, really, more than anything. And I quite like the cut of the song apart from the end. But anyway, so I uploaded the video to my Instagram, and a guy representing the show, one of the producers, found the video, And his story to my wife, because he managed to contact her through social media, she's awful with social media, anything like that. He'd sent her messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and various other things, and he couldn't reach her. And actually, I remember one day she said to me, some random guys messaged me saying he's seen a video of my husband and, can we have a chat or something? And she thought it was just a load of nonsense, so she never replied. But this guy managed to get through to her eventually, and I'm not sure, because I've never asked her the question on what platform he got hold of her. But he basically said, I'm a producer for the show. I've seen one of Nick's performances, and we're looking for a dad, and we'd love to see if he'd be interested. Well, over the years, my wife, my uncle, my mum, loads of people in my family said, why don't you go for Britain's Got Talent? Why don't you go for X Factor or whatever it might be, these reality kind of shows? And I've always just said no. And 10 years into not playing, it was a definite no. It was like, do not ask me, even if you put me up. And I'd had so many conversations with my wife, Catherine, where she said, so what if I just, put you up and said, here's, you've got to turn up on this day. And I said, well, you can just throw it in the bin. There's no way I'm going up there. I was petrified, honestly petrified of performing in front of people. And, because I hadn't done it in so long. And she'd had this video call with this producer. He'd convinced her to do this video call just to explore the options. So she was almost going behind my back, having these secret video calls with the show to see if they might be interested in me coming along, right? And I completely appreciate the conventional way is that you go through an audition process and it's quite vigorous. And actually, if someone was to say to me, what is that process? I'd be like, I have no idea, because I wasn't part of it and I never did it. And I literally turn up on the day, and I know you've got the naysayers out there, but that is exactly what happened. Of gospel truth, that is exactly what happened.
Wow.
And there'll be people out there that just don't believe it, but it is honestly the truth. And they said to her, and this is what she relayed to me, she said, does Nick want to be on the show? He said, no, there's no way he's going to want to do it. There's just absolutely no way. I've asked him 100 million different ways, and he said no. He said he ain't going to do it. He won't get up. And they said, look, come along. This is what we'll do. They'll set it all up and all that kind of stuff, pretty much as you see on the show. And if he turns around and doesn't want to do it for one reason or another, can't be convinced, and guess what? We just lose the footage. No one will ever see it. No one will ever know about it.
Wow.
But the thing that people don't realise about me, only people who are really personal to me, is if you put a challenge like that in front of me,
you're gonna do it.
For one reason, I do not want to fail at anything. So failure is not an option. So even though I was scared out of my wits to do it, I was under rehearsed. I hadn't picked up my guitar in 4 months. At that point, I was absolutely petrified. Honestly, I'm not joking. And then they gave me my guitar. It all came out. I had about half an hour at rehearsal. Cut long story short, I'm on the stage and I do it. But in a way, it added to it, and I can see where the producers were going with it. Yes, it was orchestrated insofar as the show, but in terms of the organic emotions behind it and the actual story, there couldn't be any realer.
That makes it even more special, I suppose, doesn't it?
Well, that's probably why it done so well on the show, because it genuinely was, as organic as it couldn't have been any more organic,
Yeah, and I suppose as well, it's like a good lesson for the kids as well, to just kind of go for it, and if you want to, if there's something there and there's a talent there, then there's nothing stopping you but yourself.
Exactly. Look, you've got children, and you know that you must have thought a million different times in a million different ways. What everything you do, you've got to decide whether you're making the right decision, whether you're making the wrong decision. Everything you do, and as your kids go, like my oldest is 12, youngest is 4, 5, and it doesn't matter what age though. You're constantly thinking about what am I doing. Is what I'm doing right?
Yeah, of course.
Is the decision I'm making right? Am I representing myself? Are my kids seeing the better part of me? Are they going to take away the better part of me? And that's really hard, because sometimes as a parent, I can have a really bad day, and they all go to bed, and I think, no, I didn't handle that well. They're gonna, and I'm so critical of myself. It could be something silly, Like I've had a bad day at work, and suddenly I'm like really kicking myself when I've gone to bed thinking, he wanted to tell me about something or whatever, and I should have been there. So many things. I mean, guilt is like something you don't know guilt, do you, until you've been a parent, you know, and that's something that sticks with me. But you know, it was definitely, the experience was definitely a great learning thing for my children and me, because I think what it shows, what I hope it will show them, is that when you think you're over the hill, which I did, you know, I'm a 30-something dad, 4 kids. You know, I'm not a young buck anymore, you know, and you know, and that's the truth of it. That's the truth of it. But yet, your dream doesn't have to stop there.
Of course,
you know, you cannot do it, but you cannot do it for 12 years, which is what I did, and have the lowest confidence level you can. In, you know, through not playing. And effectively inexperience at that point, because, you know, when you're playing regularly, you're playing regularly. But if you don't play for 12 years, you can have a certain amount of talent and experience, but some of it ain't there 12 years if you're not practicing. You know, you have to practice, you know. And so what you saw on that day was 12 years of not practicing necessarily, not performing. I was kind of ill-prepared. Lucky it kind of went as good as it did, but I think
you still got some tears out of Jay.
Oh, listen,
you got some tears out of him.
That audition got me. That's for sure.
Yeah, the best part of it is that the kids have something tangible to look back on when I'm here and when I'm not here. And you know, it's strange you mentioned about like the cry. I mean, I've had since the show hundreds of messages from people. I mean, literally. What's lovely about it though is it's not just someone saying, "Oh, I thought it was amazing." I mean, I've had, to give you 2 different volumes of messages. I mean, I've had a guy, and I've had several of these, but one specifically, a guy who is in Lebanon, in war, basically saying that he misses his kids so much, and that this song has really helped him.
Yeah,
you know,
nice.
I mean, what do you do with that?
That's what you do it for, isn't it? That's the kind of
that is incredible.
That's amazing.
And yeah, exactly. And that's just like, you know, I mean, I've never cried so much in any year apart from 2022. Do you know what I mean? I won't forget this year. You know, it's like the most. I might be in the Guinness Book of Records for the most tears that have been cried in 1 year. You know.
Oh my god.
And this other message, which I'll never forget as well, which is a lady saying that she lost her dad like 12, 13 years ago, and until she listened to this song, she hasn't been able to grieve.
That's them sort of messages are amazing. They're the ones that make you realize.
Well, it makes you life, innit? It kind of makes you realise that you have, whether you're doing something insignificant or and small or big, you know, as I kind of did on the show in terms of the amount of people that I was able to reach with kind of my story, your impact is massive in any way.
Of course,
you can do something. You could just help one person tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
who's on the street, and just say, "Here's the tenner, mate," or whatever. You know, whatever the situation, someone's sad, or you know, whatever it might be, a multitude of things. You know, and they could go on and impact. That one person could go on and impact 100,000 people. You just don't know.
It's
you know,
pass it on thing,
that's
isn't
kind of the joy of it.
Yeah.
But that's the whole reason why me and Jay decided to do the podcast as well, because it was like, if we can, like, both of us, we're like you've said as well, like, we're 30 somethings, like I'm 37,
I'm 40,
Jay's 40, and like our kids are 6 months, so we're quite old in the sense of like having kids, you know? And it's a mad thing, and we wanted to be able to kind of put a message out there to dads to let them know, you know, like, we're all going through these things, we've all been through these things, and we're all here together. And that's kind of like the message we wanted to spread on.
And it's a great reason to get together and talk. I mean, if you go back to, like, I don't know what age your parents are, but like my parents were like, you know, get on with it. You know, like, get on with it. You know, and you know, weren't I know every family's different, and you know, my experience was, you know, they weren't harsh, but they weren't like a major show of emotion, you know, all the time, you know. Whereas, I mean, I tell my kids I love them like 100 times a day. You know, I mean, I can literally go up to my kids and say, what am I going to say? They'd be like, I love you, you know, like, you have to say it again, you know, I mean, oh, well, we know what you're going to say, you know, and I think that nowadays it's so crucial for everyone to talk.
Definitely.
And I don't know whether it's just in me, but I will talk about anything to anyone. I will open up my heart to anyone. There's nothing out of bounds. You know, and not everyone's like that.
I'm very much like you as well. Like we said in the last episode, like my dad, I didn't know my dad until later in life. So my nan and my mum kind of brought me up. So I had like the women's set of toolbox of the sense of, you know, like if you've got an issue, come and tell us, you know, and talk. And so I kind of got that where Jay.
I never got that. I was more just tough love sort of, like never really got showed no affection and all that sort of stuff. So it's only later in life now.
So do you do the opposite now? Like, because I'm
yes. Do you know what? I've tried to, like, because it was like that for me and I wasn't showed much affection, I now try to show more. I try to overcompensate for what I wasn't shown, sort of thing. So
and it's weird how it works out because I try and emulate, like, and I ask my mum regularly, like, you know, what did you do? How did you do things? Because, you know, there's certain bits of the way I am, I want my son to be like, you know, and you have to, it is a whole different kind of way of thinking, like where before, where you're just on your own and you're worrying about you and your career and this, that, the other, to then now you've got this little person and your family there to, you think about everything, don't you?
It's true. So true.
Yeah, I mean, I see my dad was quite hard on me in terms of, you know, the hard love route, and I kind of rebelled as a teenager, and as a result, that was a pinnacle moment for us because I rebelled and rejected him and never went back. I didn't speak to my dad for over 10. Well, I hadn't had a proper relationship with my dad until after the age of 16, till when he died. Last year, so I lost 15, you know, over 15, 20 years of my life without actually having a relationship with him, and that's because, you know, he took the hard line route, a hard kind of parenting route, and I don't look back on it and think he was wrong to do that. I thought at times maybe he went too far in some different aspects, and I. But then I take responsibility as well, and I think, you know, I did as well. Yeah. I completely just shut off. Never had a relationship. Chose not to have that relationship for various different reasons. But I don't look back at kind of his hard love route and think it was wrong, because I think, and you'll relate to this, you know, you might think you growing up and certain things your parents did were completely wrong, but at the same time, I think it's fair to say that as a parent, you try and make the right decision, and you think that you're doing it for the right reason, and sometimes, whether it's right or wrong, only comes out when it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing when, as dads and parents, like, you're going to make mistakes, but it's the mistakes you make with the best intentions. And if it doesn't go that way, being able to speak to your kids afterwards as well and explain that, you know, like, I was wrong there or whatever. And at the end of the day, like, there's no book that tells you how to do things step by step. Like, I'm only like 6 months in, and you're learning constantly every day. Learning. Yeah. And there's so many different ways of doing everything. Like, me and Jay's had conversations about the weaning thing, you know, like, my little one's just starting to eat food and Jay's one's a couple of weeks in front. So you're doing it in different ways. And it's just such a unique journey to everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got a situation now where if you're going into 6 months, you've got this situation where over the next year and a half, your child is going to change so much. And it like, I can honestly tell you, your next year and a half are going to be the best moments of your life, honestly, because when my kids were younger, because the smiling, the giggling, the getting up, the being naughty, you know, and all these things that you're going to learn, you know, you're going to be going, oh God, I wish it was just like stick the baby and put the dummy and, you know, it was simple, you know what I mean? You're going to wish that it was there, but at the same time, you get in all the joys of those first opening 2 kind of years.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing, mate. You know, that'll be something to look forward to for the next year and a half.
So with it being mental health awareness today,
Yeah.
did you, when obviously being on the show and having 4 kids, was there any times where you had moments where you kind of like struggled with your mental health or anything?
Yeah, I think I've always actually not openly admitted it really to close family, close friends, but I think I've always been a deep thinker. I've always challenged myself on everything. You know, so I'll whether it's going outside of the kind of parenting realm, I challenge myself on everything. I'll go and meet a mate, and I'll you know, have a chat with him about something, and he'll tell me something really tart, and then I'll go home that night and I think, oh, did I brush him off, or did I not give him enough? You know, I challenge myself on everything. So I think mental health for me is you know, is the world of the overthinkers, you know, and I think I feel very much part of that, and I think it's something that you have to constantly work at, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and you know, and you know, I guess, you know, I've definitely struggled with it on various different levels. I definitely haven't talked about it half as much as I should, but you know, I guess I've just been one of those lucky people up to now, and you know, I've still got a long way to go, you know, in my life. So maybe one day, you know, I'll have years, months where I'm not so lucky, you know, but who knows?
The kids always help with it as well, though, don't they? I suppose in the beginning, like, so obviously some dads, like, it's never really touched upon, but some dads do get the postnatal depression as well, and some have got the anxiety leading up to becoming a dad. But once
I'll tell you a story of somebody actually. I mean, without talking names and stuff.
Of course.
I met somebody during the show actually, and she was telling me about her kind of past and her family situation. And she's got a little girl, and she also was, you know, before her daughter came along, she was looking forward to, you know, being a parent for the first time. And you know, unfortunately, in the opening months, her husband really, you know, struggled, and he actually committed suicide because he struggled with lots of various things. I don't know a hell of a lot about it, but I know that it exists. And you know, and I see her and her daughter come up on my Facebook regularly. You know, she's an absolutely beautiful person. I can see day to day that's what she is, and her daughter's beautiful as well. And I just think, wow, you know, how low do you have to go to get to that point? You know, when she was telling me about it, I mean, I was nearly into hard to believe, but I was nearly in tears. You know what I mean? It's you know, it blows my mind when I hear these kind of stories. But it happens.
And that's where it just shows you the importance of men talking, doesn't it? Because you know, like if he maybe opened up and spoke and got some help, it might have been a different scenario. You know,
I think from and again, I'm not talking from a great deal of experience. It was a very short conversation, but from what I took from it, they were all there to kind of help him, but didn't know. They didn't really know the extent of a lot of it. And sometimes, you know, as the saying goes, sometimes, you know, the most bubbly person, the person who seems to be the most in tune and with themselves and happiest seems to always be the person who's struggling the most.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
It is true. And it's a tough thing as a dad. You know, you get your different like, you know, there's a lot on your shoulders as well. You know,
a hell of a lot, of course.
Obviously.
How do you cope with you know, going from not having any responsibilities insofar as children, and then suddenly you do? And for me, it was my drive was, I better get some money, and you know, I need to get my stuff together now, you know, and that was the motion I went through, and what was it like for you? I mean, what do you do when you have kids? You just got to go realign everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what you do find out as well, whatever it is, you'll always seem to find a way, don't you?
Always.
Like whatever your worry and whatever it might be, there's always a way. And looking at your kid's face every morning and that smile makes life so much easier, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It makes it all seem worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's the only way, really. For me, everyone's different. People like have kids and don't. But for me, I knew from an early teenage years that I wanted to have a family.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd have four, but you know, I knew I wanted to have a small family, and it turns out I've got a big family. But I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm also I get really on occasion. I don't want to wish my children's life away, but I have my wife's parents are really close to us. We spend a lot of time with them, and they get to enjoy generations, you know. So me and my wife and our kids and their kids, and they get to enjoy all these different generations. And I think to myself, how amazing is it going to be when you have your daughter or son come round for Christmas and they bring their children, so your grandchildren, and then if you're lucky, their grandchildren, and you know, and their children. You know what I mean? I mean, imagine that.
That's like with my nan, isn't it? My nan like comes around and sees Brandon regular, and that's like a great grandchild. You know, she's got my brother's got a couple of kids as well, so she's got a few great grandchildren. And that like you said, that is like an amazing thing to see, because that is like multiple generations and multiple stories. And you know what, talking about multiple stories and things like that as well, Nick, you know, like we were saying about your dream of the singing and stuff like that. You've got 4 kids now, and they must all have their own different dreams that you're starting to see, and what different personalities and what they want to do. How do you like manage that with 4? Very hard. I mean, even though they're not at the age now where they're starting to say, do you know what, Dad, I want to be a musician, and I've seen this guitar and it's £5,000. Can you buy it for me? Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, well, can we pick a different career? Like, can I not just give you a pencil set, or give you an artist or something? Do you know what I mean? Like, I can buy some paper or a canvas or something, but a £5,000 guitar is pushing it a bit. But they're a bit too young, kind of, at the moment, in order to kind of get serious, shall we say? Of course.
But my boys are massive into football. One of them plays football quite a lot. They really enjoy the kind of football and the playing side. My daughters are starting to become little mini Nick prodigies, you know, so they're singing around the house and dancing around. I mean, I'm to say I dance around the house. I do, actually. I'm a bit of an idiot at home, to be honest. But they start to sing around the house and stuff like that. And I hope that whatever they get into, you know, I'm going to back them. Of course I am. I'm going to back them 100%. And even in my mind, I'm thinking I've got an opportunity to play and record, and I've had some, and like even since the show, like going over to Nashville to record, you know, these are like pinnacle moments for me that could never have happened. I was on the couch. I was literally on the couch with a pint of beer in my hand, watching, you know, I don't know, The Office or something, or the news or whatever it might be, you know, and thinking, you know, I'm a dad now, giving up on the pipe dream, you know, my guitar was covered in dust and all that, and the next minute I'm having all these amazing life-changing kind of opportunities that would never happen. And I think I'm going to back the kids whatever they want to do, and all you can do as a parent is try and kind of nurture it, you know. And I take my son to football practice every Saturday morning, and then Sunday he has his game. And
Project Harlan started already.
Well, this is the thing. I think I mean, I was saying to Catherine, my wife, that thinking I would really love just to have a lion, but I'm now going through this. I'm working during the week, and then on Saturday morning they want to do football practice at like 9 o'clock, and I'm thinking, oh God, I'd love to be in bed at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? And then Sunday, guess what? You've got to be there at 7 in the morning. I'm thinking, oh
mate.
God, no, it's never that early. But you know what I mean? I'd love the lion. But now I'm in full flow dad mode. You know, it does spark. I hope that this experience for us all. Yeah. I'm sure it'll always be a fond one for us all to look back on. I know that every couple of years we'll get out the video and we'll all watch it. And, you know, and what's amazing about it is when I'm not here in this world, they're going to be able to still have it to look back on. But yeah, they'll choose their path, and we'll always support whatever their dreams are. And I think, to be honest, I think in my heart of hearts, I know that whilst I'm riding this, and I'm giving it, you know, 110%. You know, I would very much put, you know, sooner put all of my marbles and all of my attention into the hopes and dreams of my kids when they're ready to do it. You know, and until then, you know, I'll just keep trying to massage, you know, what I'm doing. You know.
So, a quick one for you: what's easier to have, girls or boys?
I think if you asked you know, a 60-year-old, they'd have a much better answer, because they're able to give you a full, you know, all the teenage years and then the early teens and then the 30s and then the 40s and all this kind of stuff. But girls changed my life. The girls were, you know, and I love all my kids, obviously, but the girls were, you know, life changing for me. And I think, I don't know, maybe it was the fact that I had, you know, emotions and stuff. I've always been my dad was quite hard on me, and I always had this stern kind of harsh, kind of way about me as well. And I remember one of my bosses years ago said to me, "Oh, when you have a girl, you'll soften down," you know, and I did. So the girls changed me for the better, really. And you know, but I think my wife would kind of say the boys had more of an impact on her. It's weird how it
that is
you know, how it
mad
happens,
synergy, isn't it? Yeah, that is.
And it's weird how the mechanics are kind of different. But they all get their fair share. I mean, we've had the whole kind of, "Can you buy me FIFA at the weekend?" And you know, so they're hitting the FIFA week. They had the FIFA weekend just gone. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's all a balancing act, isn't it? But exactly. I think the girls were definitely easier. Yeah, I would say for me, and you know, certainly they chilled me out. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. That's a mad way of putting it, isn't it? You don't think of things like that. But if you was to say, like, to any dads listening on that, Nick, what would be your words of advice for them? Or the best piece of information that somebody gave you that you took into that you can share to other dads?
It's really hard, that question, actually. I think you can kind of only really learn from your own experiences to gauge whether you are. But look, if you had parents that, like, maybe weren't affectionate, you go and be affectionate to your children. If you have parents that were harsh, you go and do the opposite, and you're less harsh. But I think, you know, if we're going to base this advice on what I would want and what I want to give to my kids, I would have wanted my parents or dad or mum or whatever, or whoever's your kind of your parenting, you know, whoever's parenting in your life. I would always say, I would have preferred someone to say, "Look, I don't agree with what you're doing," or "I don't, you know, if that's the route you want to go down or whatever, I don't think it's a good route, but I'll back you." Yeah. You know, if that's what you want to do, I'll back you. And that's what I try and do with my children. So my child might come in, my son might come in, he might say, "I want to do this," and I'd say, "Look, I really don't think that's a good idea, and I don't think that's a good idea because of this. But if that's what you want to do, I want you to go and explore that for yourself and see if you're right or not. So my advice really is just to allow, do your best to allow your children to explore and make their own decisions.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just be understanding in the fact that you might well be right and you could be right. But I think it's really important for your children to understand and make their choices. And that's something I try and implement, in my kids.
And I suppose gives them like confidence in coming to you as well, because it's that non-judgmental ear that they can tell you anything, and that's what everyone wants to be able to be, isn't it? Yeah. Really.
Well, I mean, look, I've got, I don't know, every single one of my children are different, and they all have some amazing qualities and some, you know, qualities of things that they aren't so good at, you know. And my oldest is such a brainy kid, and he's so intuitive, and you could give him anything from like a toy to a book to anything, and he will like almost psychologically and emotionally break the whole thing down to try and understand it. He loves information, you know. And then I've got my other son who's doesn't necessarily overanalyze everything in the same way that my oldest does, but he has this outgoing mechanism in him where he like really, really doesn't want to fail anything, and he gives 100 million% to everything. And that's such a great quality, you know. And my girls have their kind of strengths and weaknesses, and I think every kid. And certainly, in my experience, every single one of my children have amazing qualities that I kind of know that's their makeup, and that's what's going to carry them through life. That's their strength, and that's their weakness. And you know where they're going to in a way, you kind of have a good feeling of where they're going to go in life, and how, you know, where they're going to, I guess, use those qualities in life. Do you know what I mean? You learn about your kids as they're getting bigger, what their kind of DNA is and what their makeup is.
Wow. Yeah, great answer. And Nick, honestly, mate, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. We know you're a busy man. And
no problem at all.
Yeah,
it's really good to catch up and talk about children. I mean,
we'll catch up.
Yeah, when all is said and done, it's like the only thing that matters, isn't it? You know. And you know, this is really what life's about. Nothing's really worth it without the kid.
Exactly that. But yeah, no, thank you again, and we will catch up again, I'm sure, in a few months down the line, and we got some more stuff to share about ours with you as well. And but yeah, mate,
got it.
Yeah, that's it. But thank you very much for your time. Good luck with the single. Just let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, so the new single, the song I sang on the show, Daddy's Little Girls, is out on iTunes, Spotify, most streaming platforms. With a new song, another new song coming out in November. Yeah, just please go and download it. And thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it. It's been nice to chat to you guys about, for me, the best subject in the world, which is the kids.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know what? Who knows? Maybe you get a little Risky Roads and Nick combination sooner, and we'll shoot a video.
Well, there you go.
Get me out of do something different from the grime scene. But thank you very much, Nick. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you
All
very
the best.
much.
Take care, mate.
Speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Mate. See ya. Bye-bye.
Take it easy, mate. Bye-bye.
What a lovely bloke.
What a top geezer.
That was
That was, hey.
Touched on a few different subjects there.
A few different ones.
But it shows you, doesn't it? If you've got a dream, keep going. And
that
relays on to your kids as well.
That's it. Don't have, like, I said this to you before, didn't I?
Don't ever think that it can't happen at your age.
Yeah.
Don't matter how old you are.
And even more special for Nick is like his kids had involvement in making his dream happen after he parked it off for them.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, man.
Yeah, no.
That's actually crazy.
Top bloke. Yeah, so get on his single and
go and support and show him some love, man. Help him out a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's quality
that was amazing.
So right, let's get back into the thing.
All right, mate, let's go. Come on in. Suppose we might as well.
So I did my one last week.
Oh, what we get? Oh, yeah, go on.
What is your...
Now it's time for the product of the week.
So, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. There is not much products at this moment in time that I've been using that I could use as a product of the week.
That's mad how things change, isn't it?
Which is crazy because there's not actually been anything new that we've like brought into the house sort of thing. Which is crazy. So it's just the usual thing.
So I'm going to go with this one, yeah?
Go on.
And this might be beneficial for most people. I don't know. But from what I can remember of what wipes was like,
They was a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
They was a bit like bouncy and that, you know what I mean? Like you could tell they was plasticky. So my product of the week is the Huggies water wipes.
Okay, is that the ones you use, yeah?
This is the ones that we use.
Okay, so we use the water wipes.
Oh, you were using the fancy ones.
Yeah, we use water wipes.
Okay, Roon.
That was on Kerry's...
Kerry's recommendation.
Yeah, Kerry just told me. Yeah, that's what we're using. I was like, all right.
He just
sweet.
gets told what to do.
More
and that's it.
hours in the cab.
Oh my God. Is that what you said? Oh, he's killed it. He's killed it.
Sell some more
But
TV
yeah,
show
it's-
ideas.
You know what I mean?
Isn't
It's one of them's going to hit. Don't worry about that, mate.
you know.
But yeah, it's the water wipes. Don't matter what ones. There's many variations of these
Yeah.
water wipes that you can use. But they are all good.
It's like 99.9% no chemicals, all of that natural stuff. for
I'm
the
not
kids,
going to
innit?
lie. Where's that other like
One.
0.1%
I
gone?
think I don't know how technical, but maybe that could be because they use like fruit juice fragrances and whatever. And
What?
I don't know. Yeah.
Fruit juice?
Yeah, they in the water wipes, they got like fruit extract
Have
for the
they?
smell. Yeah. I'm sure.
My
it
ones
has.
don't smell, bro.
If I'm wrong here, Kerry will be her
On
voice.
your-
You'll hear her voice in this now. But I'm sure that's what it is because it is.
I need to find the ones that smell like fruit, boy.
Yeah, the
What?
water wipes have got like
The ones we got don't even smell like fruit. They just smell like water.
Man,
And I don't even know what water smells.
I don't think it's
describe
that
what
strong a
water smells
smell,
like.
but it's
That's
there.
mad.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
So, yeah.
But yeah, that's my product of the week this
Okay.
week.
The water wipes,
Yeah.
Huggies and water wipes. I'll
You're
go
gonna
with that
be
'cause I
you're
like
gonna
them.
be quite surprising me this week, you
Go
know,
on then.
because I'm on a roll.
Go on.
Hit the button, bruv.
What? Okay.
You know.
Now here we go again with these two with another dad joke. Boom, boom.
You get me.
You know, I'm going
So-
to give you one of these for this because you've missed it for a few weeks. So I'm going to give you one of
Is
these
this
as well.
what you're doing?
Hey!
He's killing me, man. Absolutely killing me today, you know. Wowza. Right, so this joke, yeah, this one cracked me up.
Go on.
So, my daughter asked me, do trees poop?
Go on.
I said, where did you think them pencils came from?
Wow.
I swear to God, yeah.
That is a dad
I
joke.
was dying when I saw
Wow.
that the other day.
Wow.
I thought, you know what, I'm going to nab that one and just run it quickly.
We've gone two serious dad jokes off the bat. We've set the bar now.
Bar is high. I think we're going to have to start making a guest do this instead, you know.
what? We
bruv.
should have asked him.
We should have. I didn't even
There you go.
think-
That's the
that's what
new
we-
thing from
the
now
new
on.
thing.
They got to have a
Yeah.
dad joke.
Definitely.
It takes the pressure off us.
I can't keep trying to find these jokes, bruv. It's hard work.
It really is. It really is. So
Oh,
yeah,
mate.
right. Again, I have been Rooney,
I've been Jay.
and we are a couple of dads.
Coupler.
And again, as always, find us on Instagram at Couple of Dads Podcast
Find us on TikTok, Couple of Dads Podcast.
and on Twitter, Couple of Dads Pod,
Facebook, Couple of Dads,
Couple of Dads,
which is the page.
and info at coupleofdads.co.uk if you want to email us for something a little bit more sensitive and
Yeah.
you know, and or even just a request to come on the show because
Request to come on the show.
all you need
If
to
you
do.
got something you want us to talk about on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to get people's advice on something.
Because to be
Just
on the show,
throw it
all you
in.
need to be is a dad.
No. All you need to be is...
It's now time for
Yes,
Qualification
this is-
Dad.
You get me?
Just
Hey.
making use of our jingles. Big up
Hey,
33
you know
again.
what I mean? Big up Harry as well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big up
Right,
Harry.
no, right. Let's, before
Because we have been. No. This is the tagline, right?
From a couple of lads to a couple of dads.
You know what I'm
Big up
saying?
H.
Right, so before we get out of it, I'm going to big up all the